What's good, gang? We're back in it. One Piece 1045, and we're gonna get straight into it. Dalton, chapter 1014 of One Piece, a little bit back ago. You know, like probably a year and a half ago. Fuck you, Oda. But a minute ago, Kaido knocked Luffy off the top of the skull dome and told him, "You couldn't be the Joy Boy. That's not possible that you could be him." But you know what happened this chapter? Whenever Luffy started doing what he wanted, now he do what he wants. He don't understand it. He's starting to realize this is the Joy Boy. He looked him in the eyes. He said, "This isn't the awakening of a paramecia, Dalton." He said, "This is of a mythical zone. This is of something crazier. This doesn't make sense." You know why? Because he's fighting the Joy Boy. He was wrong all along.
Wrong the whole time. And even you saying him doing what he wants, it's funny how in the beginning of the fight, like you relating things back to 1014, I don't remember what chapter it was, but way back in the beginning of the fight, Kaido was mad because Luffy was mad because Kaido was just drunk the whole time. Didn't seem like he was taking the fight serious. Every single
they're flirting with him and shit.
You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, now it seems like Luffy's just having fun the whole time. He's just having the time of his life, and now Kaido's mad because he thinks Luffy's just laughing and not taking the fight serious. So it's like a funny change of events. Funny how the turntables.
You feel me? Like, it starts off with Kaido just having fun, trying to have a little battle. He's like, "Oh, I respect you," this, that, and the other. But now Luffy is just playing with Kaido like a jump rope. Like, he's literally doing whatever he wants with Kaido like it's a toy.
Hey, Luffy gave a shout out to us for jump roping every single day. He just hit the jump rope like us.
What you know, bro? What you know? No, it's so interesting to see. Like, one of my favorite parts of this was Gaigento. That dude finally did what he really wanted. He's been saying it all series. I want to be a giant. And he finally did it.
And I don't remember if we said it in our last video or not, but we literally were talking about how we want him to go giant once he becomes like his awakened form. So it's funny that like first chapter after he starts going up in the sky, like blows or belches all the air out of him after he goes balloon to escape Kaido and then turns into a giant and still gets bit.
Nah, but what was your favorite part of the whole fight you'd say so far?
My favorite part of the whole fight? I think that my favorite part of the whole fight has to be whenever Luffy gets hit with that blast breath. And whenever he's like falling down and he's like, first off, it's weird that he gets hit with the blast breath and it doesn't seem like he takes any damage at all. Yet in the beginning of Wano, whenever Kaido uses that blast breath, it takes out that whole mountain. So does Luffy even feel pain in his awakened state?
No, I think it's actually like an F damage type of thing. Damage, I guess to say, yeah, because I think what it is his defenses are so strong that he obviously still feels it. That's why he's ow, like it hurts him. But his defense is just so strong that it doesn't matter. He still feels what's going on, but it's almost like he's at like a Logia level of something. Like every time he gets touched, his body just morphs to it.
And that's why I wonder if it's hurting, because even think back in like whenever we were in the bottom of the skull dome and Marco was using his flames and everybody to heal people, and all people saw was that they were on fire, so they were like, yeah, like it hurts. Even Chopper thought that it was hurting, and then Marco was like, bro, calm down, like, I'm just healing you, like I'm helping you like sustain like the virus from spreading. And then people were like, oh, like it actually does feel kind of nice. Like maybe Luffy's just so used to taking these like thunder bagoas from Kaido that like anytime that he normally gets hit, like it hurts. He almost died. Like he did die, but maybe like he's in that same kind of vibe that they were in the bottle of the skull dome.
I'm interested to see because he hasn't really taken any real damage from multiple thunder bagoas. 3 worlds of Ragnarok, freaking a blast breath. Like he was just shit. He pulled a Looney Tunes as soon as he got blast breath. He said and ran across the sky. He said, "I'm mad," and then went to immediately get Ragnarok. Like it's so interesting to see that just like Luffy is presumably invulnerable at this moment.
Invulnerable, and on top of that, what can't he be? The fact that he turned Kaido into rubber means that he's exhibiting some type of Logia qualities. Kaido's already said that he is a paramecia. We all know him as a paramecia, but Kaido said that like his transformation is more of a Zoan. So definitely just goes to show that he's all 3 types of fruit. Yeah, so like what is he?
This Hito no meme makes no sense. This Hito Nika makes no sense.
And in a way though, it almost shouldn't make sense if a human's eating a human fruit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what does a human turn into if they eat?
Chopper ate that human turned into a real nigga. turn into a yeah.
Into the
I don't
goat.
know. But
Or the
kind
deer.
of stemming from that fact, do you think he actually can use Gear 5th now?
I feel like he's not gonna be able to quite use Gear 5th yet. It'll kind of be like how Haki at first, like he would have like random flashes of being able to use it until he went to Boa's Island. So in my mind, after reading it, the only way... So he obviously doesn't even know what fruit he is. Kaido doesn't know what he is. Right now, Kaido literally cares more about what fruit Luffy is than Luffy does. Luffy just thinks that this is Gear 5th, but Kaido's like, you're awakened. So in my mind, there's only 3 people in the world that could even tell Luffy what his fruit really is / what his powers really are. And in my mind, that would be the world government, because obviously they know something about this fruit and is why they want it. B, it could be Shanks, and that's why he stole the fruit in the first place. Maybe he was trying to give it to somebody, or he wanted it for himself because he knows what it really is. And then the last one would be Blackbeard, because he always had that devil fruit book with him. So realistically, in my eyes, those are the only 3 people that would know, quote unquote, what Gear 5th really is at this point.
But I don't know if they even know how to unlock it though. It's not their devil fruit. They can't feel it within their body. Like they wouldn't be able. Like even with all his knowledge, I don't think Blackbeard could look at Kuzan and tell him, "Oh, this is how you awaken your ice devil fruit." Like, you know what I mean?
No, 100%. I agree with that. But one thing that would be very interesting to see is
what's in that book? That's a good
what's
question.
in that book? And because of what's in that book, since nobody's awakened Luffy's fruit for 800 years, then nobody necessarily has seen what Luffy's fruit can do, right? So since they've seen the will of Luffy now, and the will of Luffy is now carried through that fruit, presumably if somebody sees what Luffy can do with the fruit and they took the fruit, would they be able to do the same thing? The same way that like Sabo got Ace's fruit and could already use the same attacks that Ace could use without even like using the fruit before, but he said that it was because like the will of Ace like basically wanted him to attack Burgess, you know what I mean? Like if somebody got the fruit, like would they be able to use the same things that Luffy can use, or do you think it would still take more training than that?
I don't know. I think my boy Blackbeard might be able to steal that shit and use it all for him. You saw what happened when he stole the trimmer. He stole the trimmer and said, come on, like he actually might have to. That's a topic for another video. We've been having a lot of thoughts and discussions around that boy Blackbeard, that boy Big B's, Marshall D. Teach.
Drop a like, drop a comment if you want a video on our thoughts on Blackbeard.
Please do. But you're talking about the government a bit, and I think I finally understand what they meant last chapter whenever they started talking about this is low-key a potential future that we were begging for this outcome, whatever they said, because they said afterwards that they're trying to eliminate dangerous variables. And the end of this chapter, I think I understand it, because Luffy's defeating Kaido, presumably already, or next chapter, the chapter afterwards at the max, I believe. And Kaido is an army-destroying force, the strongest creature in the world. He might not be he's probably still the strongest, like even over Luffy, if Luffy defeats him in a fight. I think Kaido is the most destructive thing in the world. Just, you see Blast Breath, you see him in this dragon form.
His introduction literally...
He can create those giant dragon whirlwinds with like with the tornadoes and the lightning and shit. Like, that is a dangerous man. But if the most ridiculous power in the world, the Joy Boy, Kaido's already said it, only the Joy Boy can beat him. If he does get defeated by Joy Boy, they pull up on this island. Zoro's already hurt as heck. Sanji's already hurt as heck. Freaking
Big Mom's down.
Big Mom was down. All Marco can fight. Perospero and like presumably. Ooh, that's a very interesting thing.
What about the rest of Big Mom's army?
Big Mom's crew.
Yeah.
Big Mom's crew's there. Smoothie and the gang is definitely there. So that's an interesting one to, I guess, throw in here. But no.
And Zunisha.
I think they're just trying to get rid of this variable, Kaido. It's interesting that I think that they wanted Luffy to beat him because they said, I'd rather this kid who just awakened his devil fruit is gonna run out of stamina fighting Kaido, defeat Kaido, and we just come in and watch shit. And you know who's gonna come up? CP0 Aegis, the leader. Roberto Lucky.
if he pulls up on some weak shit like that too. But like that's really crazy you saying that, and maybe that's what Oda. It's funny that every time that Oda flashes back to these elders, he makes it seem like these conversations are continuing, but really these conversations are a lot of the time broken up and chopped up. Mm-hmm. So maybe the potential future that they're begging for wasn't the fact that like, yo, we have to get the Gomu Gomu back. Like maybe the future that they begged for was the fact that Luffy pulled up on Kaido's island, like you were saying, and the two strongest people in this world quite literally fight to death. And while both of them are weakened, either they can take out both of them while they're both weakened, or they can get the Gomu Gomu from Luffy in his weakened state if they kill him, and then have like whatever fruit around to presumably have like the Gomu Gomu go to, and then the Gomu Gomu is theirs for the first time in X amount of years, other than whenever Shanks like stole it off that government ship. Yeah. But that's a very crazy theory, dog. I don't think I've seen that anywhere on like Reddit, YouTube, nothing. Like that's the first time I've ever heard that.
This shit's interesting, but I mean, aside from the government's implications in this whole event, what the hell happened at the end of the chapter?
My best explanation, even whenever I go back and look at the chapter now, you can tell me what you think, because I think that this is going to be the hot topic for anybody that read this chapter. Is so I think Luffy does like the twirling fist thing, whatever, 3, 2, 1, 0 launches at Kaido's fist starts spinning. So I don't think that his fist goes through Kaido. I think that he's still like turning Kaido into rubber, just like he did earlier. And then he's also using Rio at the same time. So like Kaido has like the blank wide eyes, like he's knocked out in the next panel. So like my best guess is that he turned Kaido's face into rubber / also used like a crazy amount of Supreme Conqueror's Haki as well as Amarant Haki at the same time, like Kaido was saying, and like just got hit like crazy. Well, maybe. What would you think? What do you got to say?
I don't really have an explanation. What I thought was odd is that he punched him through right here. And I know in the back of my head right there, I have hair. And it looked like a fist came through his head. Like it looked like at the back, it was a fist. So I don't really have a thought, but I just don't know if he obviously rubberized him. It's so freaking confusing, Dalton. Oh my god.
Confusing as hell.
It's just a very ambiguous panel. Obviously, Oda did it on purpose like that, but it's a very ambiguous panel. The only thing that you can for sure say is that bro has brain damage.
Brain damage. We can both agree in the fact that man's got hit in the Rio straight to the brain, bro.
No, his dome piece got shot. Oh my goodness.
Kaido might actually have the mind of a Magikarp now, but we will find that out in the next episode.
He only knows Splash now. Kaido's gonna be on the ground just flopping. Like this is gonna be. There's no more Gyarados form for Kaido.
I think that might be the prediction for chapter 1046. Kaido just flopping.
He instead of his fish freaking dragon form, he's literally just gonna turn into a fish. Nah, but I guess the only my last thoughts would be, I think next chapter I think we'll start kind of transitioning out of the Luffy Kaido fight a little bit. I think that this fight is more or less coming to its end, with Luffy gonna be the ultimate victor. I think that things will start going back towards the other crew now. It'll be interesting to see if he starts getting Zoro involved again next chapter. Possibly some of the other crewmates. Saw the Grim Reaper, so... Hey, but he's about to be the king of hell, crown him. What do you mean?
Maybe he's quite literally talking to Enma in that little crisis there. He's talking to the king of hell because he said he's gonna be the king of hell. Maybe he's talking to a sword. His sword has a spirit. He's always talking to a sword. I don't know.
Yeah, they always say the sword talks. They always say that sword talks to you, especially the legendary ones.
You know what I mean? So it'll be interesting to see that. You got any predictions or things that you'd like to see for chapter 1046?
Only thing I think I want to see is that nigga Deku get off this manga.
Wait, did you not read this most recent chapter?
No.
Bro, Deku ate a smile fruit and fell into the water and couldn't swim.
Oh my god, not Deku. Did Uraraka save him?
Nah, Uraraka laughed.
Did Uraraka have the... She goes, gravity's him up.
Uraraka was pissed because she saw him like kind of flirt with Tama-chan a little bit, you feel me? So, it is what it is, but...
It is what it is.
Other than that, I don't really got nothing else to say. I mean,
if you don't got shit, then I'm out of here.